we're going to move through a typical day and do our regular schedule. So our target today is for students to analyze how two different perspectives can sway a person's thinking, a society's thinking, or a group's thinking. You are going to understand how different perceptions of inequalities and injustices exist. Also, I want you to note your Thursday article of the week this week is on News ELA. It's already set up there for you to read. It is War, Poverty, and Greed Keeps Millions Enslaved. So while we're talking about the American Civil War and slavery being a big part of that, it is still happening in our world. So I want you to relate this article to what we're reading, and you're going to go ahead and do your one-page summary for Thursday on different perceptions of inequalities and injustices and how they exist. Any questions there? Great. Continue doing your reading and continue studying your word parts. So we've got a new Greek and Latin word part today. Yeah. Yes. And while you're all right, in your groups and in your table teams, what do you know about these words? You are going to have a 4-part discussion. You don't need to be doing any writing, but you do need to be working in your round robin. What do you know about these words? Where have you seen these words used in our daily life? What do these words seem to have in common? And what words could you add to this list and why? You will have 2 minutes. You probably won't need all of that time. Start off with number 1, which is set up in the corner for the clock, and move your way around in 30-second increments. Sam?
You said we're not ready, correct?
No, you're having a discussion.
Okay.
Any other questions?
What group should I?
Come back. Good question. All right, ready? Begin.
Yeah, I think we got it. Where have you? I think it's like a sentence, like something special, maybe, like, you know, like, what's like a sentimental card or something.
Nice job. Keep it up.
It's like you're just,
Who are we missing? Welcome back. No, you're fine. We're just starting. Your groups will fill you in. Nope, you're okay. Deeper thinking. A little deeper. A little deeper than EN. That's a little bit better.
I think it adds
Is everybody almost done? All right. So remember when you're doing the thinking behind this, we want deep thinking. All right? Not all that they have suffixes or not that they have prefixes. You want to dig deep. So don't forget to do that in your groups. All right. You actually have a choice between a few definitions. I want you in your group, each one of you, to read the definition out loud to your peers. I want you to choose 2 or 3 of those definitions to write down in your book. And I also want your group to determine what you think the word part is for this week. Are you ready? The person with the closest birthday today gets to go first and then work around the group. What's closest to today, November? I didn't say that.
I think we were. It can be in a, yeah, I can get a sensation. Yeah, it can be.
It can be changed. No.
All right, I must go behind.
How many sentence down? How many sentence down?
And are you reading next? You're not being fair? Yeah, go ahead and pick 2 or 3 that work for you to help you remember. Maybe so. Good work. Any questions, or is everybody good? Yes. So are you telling me you need to get back with your group and have a discussion about what you're going to present? The Library of Congress sheet, where we're analyzing it? Those I have extras of, and I can hand you one of those, okay? And you sure you don't need to talk to your group? Or are you going to go separate from your group? All right, tomorrow, when we start off the day with our reading, maybe it's time for you and your group to pull together and then figure out what you're going to do, because we've got about 4 more groups to go. So you can go near the tail end and then work with your group to figure out what you need to do. All right? But you're going to need to remind me. Okay. All right, are you wrapped up? You've picked your choices. All right, Miguel, after you've done all your research, what are you going to say this word part is going to be connected to?
Well, I'm just going to go with, like, the senses, like touch. No, not touch. I don't know why I said that. My research is inconclusive.
Miguel, your research is never inconclusive. Olivia?
Okay, so Hude and I said it was the word part was sent, and it means like opinion or feeling.
Kendall agrees with you, I think. Sam?
I did EN for the report, and I think it's like an opinion or feeling also.
Anybody else? You ready? All right. There you go. Nice job. So record your word part in your meeting, and then we're done with word parts for today, which means we are up to, I believe, our next song presentation for our research. Alex is going to go.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah, I'd be happy to have you go tomorrow if that works for you. Is that all right? We have quite a few left. All right, so as you wrap that up, Alex is going to get ready for his song. Will you take a lyric page for your table and pass them out to everybody's table? And then whatever's extra, just put up here, Chloe. All right, Alex, you've got to go this way to set up on the Mac.
All right.
All right.
So we're ready.
Oh, thanks. Just what I needed to know. They'll move them. You've got one up there, right? What do you need? Yep. Nope. Pull this one out. There you go. Nope. You're good. There you go. Pick what you need. And then make sure to turn off this music. Yeah. Hit the pause button. All right. All right, as a group, your responsibility after you listen to this song is to make sure you are going to analyze it together. So, with your Library of Congress sheet on thinking about songs, you are going to look at the song, you're going to respond to the music and the lyrics, and then you are going to think about how it relates to our content and the history of the United States. You might want to assign somebody to be the recorder, but make sure you have a discussion first and the recorder's not just writing down the answers. Thank you, Caroline.
No, press the blue out.
This one?
No, press the one in the.
In here?
Yeah. Here, actually press the document sign. Go down.
Here.
Yeah, right there. Click it. There you go.
You're going to turn it there.
Oh, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna switch your name.
Okay, make sure you go down to this screen. Uh-huh.
Wait. What's your song called?
2 sides to every story.
That's good.
Okay? Here, you want me to pull this in? Oh, no, I didn't pull it on. I know, it doesn't have lyrics though, it's just, because I couldn't find one with lyrics. Yeah, is there a freeze?
Not on that one, it's on the white one.
Oh, which one's the white one?
It should be fine.
Alright, no, I was gonna try to pull the video.
Okay. Then turn it off because I don't want the picture with the video. All right. Yeah. Thank you for being so patient while we're waiting. It's all right, Alex. No worries. Mm-hmm. Of course.
So, yeah, I don't think I have lyrics.
That's all right, but do you have the music? All right. Can you get the music up and going?
Well, there must be two sides to every story. And who's to say who's right and who is wrong? And I'm trying to understand why you're not with me. How can we both be right when you're still wrong? And it's hard to believe that it's all over. A love like ours is not supposed to die. And there must be two sides to every story. I just wish I had a chance to tell you mine. I miss you more than I could ever tell you. And we've hurt each other more than we could know. And there must be two sides to every story. Come on home and tell me yours. I love you so.
All right. So when your song is done, hit pause, and then I want you to explain why you chose it.
Yeah, I have it on PowerPoint. I'll just make it show what we said. Like, you know, for each of us.
Okay.
Those are each of them.
Okay.
I miss you more than I could ever tell you. And we hurt each other more than we could know. And there must be two sides to every story. Come on home and tell me yours. I love you so. Come on home and tell me yours. I love you so.
All right, this group has a quick explanation of why they chose the song they did and how it relates to our theme.
Alright, that was called Two Sides to a Story. It's originally by Billy Nelson, but that was a cover, so. Well, we chose the song because it was like, we thought it was like kind of two sides of like a relationship. It was like the girl like wanted to stay with the guy, but he was kind of like wanted to end it off. And so she was like trying to like say that she was really sad and she still wanted to be with him. For the lyrics, we said that he left her, and she wanted him back. For the music, we said it was kind of like a medium speed, and it was kind of catchy, and it kind of like made it less sad. Otherwise, without the music, it would have been like really depressing song. We thought kind of like a personal reaction to the lyrics that she was kind of like needy. She didn't seem like a very good person. And then,
If you're done, yes, absolutely.
okay.
All right, I would like for you to not analyze the illustration column, but I want for you to look at lyrics and music in your group. You've got 2 minutes to do a group analysis and jot down your thoughts about the work that they chose. It's okay. You're okay.
What do you notice about the my relationship?
Yes,
Are we able to share these in class?
a few. Well, they're going to share them with the presenters, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
What do you need? Yes. Pack up your stuff. Be careful getting out the door.
I'm sorry, I would have helped you, but I wasn't here, so I didn't know.
What are your personal reactions to the lyrics? We're always asking to see the 2 senses. No, like we're all in the analysis there. Well, I feel like I have like the guy who's
You don't have to like a song to analyze it, though. Then, when you've got that chance to talk about the music, you can offer your opinion up in that section right there, which you kind of have done. So maybe for you in particular, you want to say something about the lyrics then.
He's right. To show that there are 2 sides to every story.
Yes, that sounds good. I like that.
Yeah, actually. For our name design.
Good?
Yeah.
How are you coming? Fine, really fine? This is what I told you you didn't have to do. No, but focus on those 2, and then you can sit.
People who are in a relationship.
Yes. Yes, they're on the front in my basket. And grab one. This is interesting. Very interesting observation.
Yes, I am
Put your group names on this. Do you have your group names on your sheet, Rigad? Miguel, you've got your group name. Revna, do you have names for everybody on this? So you can give it to the presenters. All right, as you wrap this up, as you're finishing this up, I want each of you to reflect on stating one observation. So figure out what your group's one observation will be, and 3 of you will be reporting out. Sarah? Whatever your group decided in looking at your analysis. Olivia? Of course. Okay, deep thinking and serious. That was not deep enough for me. So try to dig a little deeper than using the word vibe. It doesn't mean anything.
That's our signature quote.
Then you need to reframe that. Yeah. Not deep thinking, is it? It's about as much as saying that was really, really good. It doesn't mean anything, does it?
Can we explain why we like it?
That would be much better. Excellent decision. Yes. Miguel.
Because the music, because like the beat was
All right, let's take a look at those groups reporting out. And first on the hot seat is table 3.
Yes.
Person number 3.
Alright, what do I share? Which one do I share? Can I share the music first?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, the stuff that we noticed, it was kind of like.
I'm looking for respectful listening from the rest of the audience. And Sam, you need to stand up.
Alright. Basically, the thing that we thought about the music, it was slow and kind of dull. It wasn't really catchy, and it sounds kind of like Hawaiian music, in a way. It was, for me, in my opinion, it was born on a level like where it's just kind of like really slow, and I don't really like so like more like the upbeat kind of stuff. And it was a little bit sad, I guess you could say, because they said it was about a relationship. And then we love the vibe because it was like the beat was good, like the beat was happy, but then the overall like the lyrics were that happy. Like
I sense a little bit of a contradiction in that statement. It's dull and we don't like it, but we do like it and it's upbeat. I think you need to reframe that a little bit.
But you don't like the lyrics.
Table 9. Person number 3. Sarah, sit down. Sarah, you're not table 9.
I was in the bathroom when the song was playing. I was in the bathroom.
Well, choose someone else to report from your group.
Okay.
You're a team. You can make those decisions.
Should I do the lyrics?
You may choose whatever you wish to share.
I was gonna do the music. We thought it was slow. It was kind of catchy, not really. We weren't sure. And it was a country. We thought that it was a country song. And the emotion that we thought it was sadness. Showed that she was sad.
Thank you very much. Table 5.
Okay, so we said that the song made you feel like sad and sleepy, and then like it was about like a boy and a girl, and like you couldn't really hear it, like 'cause like the overall like the singer was very like dull, so you almost like couldn't hear like the lyrics, and we said it was slow and country.
I sense the overall feeling. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. This is not one of your favorite choices. Okay, here's my question to you. Did you really listen to the lyrics, or did the music stop you from attending to the lyrics?
Yeah.
I tried, but I couldn't really.
I want you to have that discussion really quick in your group. Okay, you need to make sure everybody gets a chance to talk. So Marissa gets this thank you so much. So you didn't like the music. Okay, that's all right. Thank you. This is probably the first time you've run across a song that has impacted you so negatively. And I'm surprised by the fact that because you didn't like the music, you just kind of shut it down altogether. So the message in that song is a little bit lost because you didn't have the lyrics in front of you as well. So think about that, the power of music in addition to the power of a lyric. All right, we are going to shift gears. Thank you very much for that opinion. We are still going to shift gears. We are going to read chapter 7 of Boys' War. Now, you started chapter 1 on Thursday, and you had these young, passionate people really ready to answer the call of Abraham Lincoln and join in to the conflict. Chapter 7 is entitled Changes. Now, in this text, you are going to analyze and determine the perspectives the same way that you did before. But just by the sheer title of this chapter, you should be finding out different information. All right, so chapter 7, changes. Be looking for and annotating personal perspectives that are revealed in the text. As you partner read the text, annotate for vocabulary words that are confusing you. And I will be very honest in telling you, I had to look up several words. So if you don't tell me that you're struggling with vocabulary, I think you're going to be lying to me.
What if we're really smart?
I don't know. We'll have to see. You can always look vocabulary words up if you have your technology with you. Use it. If you don't, you know there's dictionaries in the back of the room behind the lovely Essence. After you read, we're going to be doing a 20-minute Socratic seminar in our traditional layout. So you may partner read. I expect this text to be done by 5 after. Post-it notes are on your desks. Absolutely. All right? No, we're not going to the hall. Nope, at your table. Good question, though. At your table. No. Anywhere around the room, yes. Careful of the equipment. No. No, I do not. Go up. Are you all right? Good? Make sure your voices are a little low. Sam, there's many people here. Keep your voice tuned. You know what? It's okay. Go do your reading. It won't be late. We'll catch it tomorrow. All right? Is that all right, Andrew? Yeah. Okay. Of course. Well, is it a tool in the way it's used in this particular piece of text? So I would say first let's go reread and see if we can frame it the right way. Honed. You got it, absolutely. So in that instance, it's more than just a tool. However, they were talking about their own behavior. Good job. Of course. Notice a couple vocabulary words that I might possibly have written down for myself. So while one of you is reading, the other two be that analytical eye, okay? And then share what your observations are with each other, because that's the power in you deciphering the text. All right? I'll be back later.
Matt, you know what fun a beta is? Here, I'll search it.
Regiment. I'm going to stop you there. You guys have read about a page and a half. I have noticed several vocabulary words that I'm not seeing either one of you write down. I noticed that right when I sat down, Andrew, and that was great. Also, I noticed somebody's perspective has been given, and you're not questioning or looking or identifying. So when you read and annotate, what part's missing? When I have you annotate an article, what is it that you're doing? Excellent. Excellent, Andy. So I need you to do that with this. So don't just keep going. Make sure you back up and discuss. All right? And maybe whoever's reading, the power is in the other person to help do the annotating. But you want to make sure you stop and pause because you've already got a great perspective here. The first thing I noticed was 2,000 people in number are coming towards you. That's like 2 groups of people that are the size of skulls. So if we took every child in this building and lined them up, can you get an idea in your head of what that might look like? Okay, and then they're talking about walking. Their flags are visible above the rising ground. So they're literally just walking towards each other. It's not a style of fighting you do anymore, is it? All right, so keep going, but make sure you're stopping and pausing and looking for people and what they're telling you about the times. Do you think it would be harder to kill someone you can see, or is it easier to push a button and kill somebody that you don't see? Kind of interesting. Okay, you guys keep going. Where are your annotations? Okay, good. Excellent. And I saw that you kind of slowed down over the word protruding. And did anybody have any help for what that might mean? Okay. So what is protruding and where's it coming from? So they're walking over, listen to what they've noticed. We've passed over the old battlefield of Manassas. The rains of 2 years have uncovered many of the shallow graves. But maybe you can help her with that. Okay. So you've got the man's boot protruding from the grave. It's a place. Good self-correction. It's a very powerful statement there if you're looking at perspective. All right, I would say stop there and go back because you have got a lot of things that you could have reflected on that you missed so far. So I want you to slow down because you've got 10 more minutes. But slow down and really dissect and digest it because you're getting a snippet, but I don't think you're going in deep enough. Okay? That would be one of the words I had to look up. I should hire you as my research assistant. How are you coming? And your Post-its are where? Okay. So you're going back? Okay. Me neither. So that's why you're going to need to look up. Yes. There are a lot of shocking statements that they make that are very different from the beginning. It's a great way to state it. I agree with you. And it's a very good observation. Yeah. It's not an easy thing to do, is it? Post-traumatic stress disorder. And I think about how we've evolved as a group of people. This particular style of war is very, very close. You know, you're not dropping bombs on people with planes or using drones, right?
Nowadays, be like, oh, okay, you can see, like, literally the light at the bottom of their eyes.
Yeah. Or even the part where they're walking over the former graves. Very different. Absolutely. You've got about 5 minutes. So make sure. You have 5 minutes left. I want you to make sure that for Socratic Seminar, which is going to start shortly, that you've met the expectations. You have not annotated as you typically do. So I want you to make sure you go back and look for those perspectives. I also want you to make sure you look for those vocabulary words. Because when you get in your seminar, that's the chance for you to clear up those misconceptions about the text when you're having that dialogue with your peers. All right? 5 more minutes. Go.
How do you spell it?
What 2 sides? Ms. Liza, during seminar today, would you be evaluated? Sorry. Are you having a good time and staying on task? Just checking. Caitlin, would you be the evaluator during seminar today? And you got your annotations ready to go? Great. Which group are you in?
I'm in this one.
In this one? You're in the far one?
No.
Yes, I was just getting ready to ask you. Thank you. So you're done? You're done and ready? You're done and ready?
Not yet.
You should be. You're done and ready? Ladies, you're done and ready? Okay, go. You're done and ready? You're done and ready? All right, I'll have you transition the microphones and then we'll move the tables. It's shocking, isn't it? No.
Bye-bye.
Maybe in the spring. Are you good? Are you good? I'm just checking on you. You're done? Go back to your seats. Okay.
I should try to get into your family.
Let's try this again. Thank you. In monitoring most of your groups, you are nearing the end. So I'm going to retract that full 5 minutes and ask you to go back to your seat. I also want you to rearrange the tables for seminar. Make sure you are careful about the equipment around you. So, Sam's line, I want you to go towards the back. You will stay towards the front. And you guys, I want you to kind of be in the middle so you're not so far back in that camera. All right? So would you kind of just scooch this way?
Guys, going full throttle on 3, 2, 5, 4.
Absolutely. Sam, would you get the door for me? Forget the past, Jake. Charge it over at my desk. Charge it over at my desk. It's in the door.
Phone hand over here.
Tables 149. Great job getting together so quickly. Tables 2 and 5. Nice job. Make sure everybody's got space.
Welcome to table
All right. Before we begin our seminars, one person in each of your groups has been identified as being the observer. So they're going to sit back a little bit. They're going to analyze your discussions. They have already been given their feedback checklist. Your job today is to make sure that during your seminar, you are asking the questions in the text that relate to your questions and concerns. So, when you begin, you are going to open that book up and you are going to start by identifying the text by page number for the rest of the people in the group to make sure they can put eyes on the text. Then you're going to either discuss the section that gave you trouble or the perspective that you noted, allowing everyone an equal voice and making sure all voices are heard. I have also taken 4 text-dependent questions, and I will be putting them up in 5-minute intervals. They will start with chapter 1, because you will start with chapter 1. And then we will move to chapter 7. All right? So I'm going to put the first one up now. If your group ends up being in a place where you're finding it challenging to have the discussion, go to the text-dependent question that we've got on the board. So our first one today is what, Sam?
Why does someone choose to join a conflict of pregnancy?
That is definitely our essential question. And in the text, we're going to go to what page?
Oh, page 7.
All right, page 7. And what does it say?
When the war actually broke out, it was like a pressure release valve. At last, the country seemed to sigh of relief. Something concrete was finally going to settle this dispute. The result on both sides was an enthusiastic rush treatment.
All right, so then we've got our question. So you can use that to keep your discussion going. Liza.
This was chapter 7, right?
This is chapter 1. So I became a soldier. That's why it's listed. You'll have 2 questions from 1 and 2 questions from 7. Now your goal is to have a good quality discussion and dig deep in the text with some deeper thinking. Any other questions? I'll be walking around evaluating your groups as you work. All right, begin.
Okay, guys. Go around this way.
About what?
Why they enlist?
Okay, so I think they do it as it said. Where is it? In the, okay. It says how they like didn't want to like sit around and like do the farm work and stuff. I forgot what
Many
it
joined
said.
because they were trying to stop and set them straight.
Let's all flip to that page right now.
Was the reason to escape
No,
the
it was
farm life.
It was on a different page. I don't know, page 8. Well, it talks about how like they didn't want to sit around and like do the farm work and do what their parents wanted them to do, so they would all like go against their family and like to go on an adventure.
What paragraph is that in?
Here we go. A very good. B-E.
And it says that somewhere in this chapter.
Yeah, that's chapter 1. Yeah, it is chapter 1, page 1.
And also, it was kind of bad because a lot of
2 sides to the
boys,
story.
they didn't even like legislation.
Because
It's just because like
they haven't too much their body.
when they were like so little,
They kind of.
I don't know, like they were so young they would like experience like something.
I didn't know that.
Like when they see it like a year after they're used to it, seeing doing that, they don't really react to it.
Yeah, we had it, but okay.
Like I know I saw it, my leg was like half an hour down, and the head was over there. I'm like, what the heck? I wouldn't just be like,
Make sure while you're having those inferences and you're talking about how that affected you, also make sure you pull up your text. So great start to your discussion.
yeah, I actually
Like what Caroline
Can I text you an issue? Is there's this one police officer on CNN who won't go back to work for the police department because of what he had to do in Newtown when the shooting happens. Now he won't go back to work. So he's like
Oh yeah, because the kids like basically look at defense rule. Does anybody else want to?
to work.
So they went back to the
I said
not as
You sniffing the popcorn?
they get super
With a straw in there.
and they don't get treated as bad.
Yeah, it says, okay, in the third paragraph it says,
Yeah, that was it. They like wanted adventure. They just don't. I think they don't want to introduce like little kids.
frolic and
I think they just want to like an adult like this. Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't want to spend the rest of their life on a farm.
yeah, I'll take it out.
Doing okay, guys.
It's
Let's go to.
skipping and
Does anybody want to share why they
Anybody else want to share?
it was like something you like.
You're gonna.
I don't get how it's used in that.
Anybody else want to share?
Let's look it up. Your phone is off.
Yeah, that was man.
It is see, you don't have this just like they
Right here we go. Frolic. Frolic means gaiety or merriment. A gay, carefree time. A playful antic.
Yeah, it does.
Frolic. She behaved playfully and
That's why some people they
It says
To
generally
romp
boys
around?
from the north did not have the right to mistake the burning desires.
Okay, I have that. To engage in merrymaking and joking.
I do not know anything about it, whether it is good or bad.
Okay, so bring that back to your text. You did a great real world connection,
Frantic
but
run
we're
at
looking
school.
for perspectives from this particular text, chapter 1
But
to
Logan,
chapter
your
7.
hands are
So
frantically.
take it back to
I
here.
don't know anything about what they're writing about. They just
But anyone like
I do.
So they're like,
They honestly like don't know
Also,
anything.
when they went into it, they didn't really know what to describe. They just thought like it's like fun games. They didn't.
so you send me out pretty much
I don't think it ever
Yeah,
crossed
they're
our
all like
they want.
If they don't,
kids like
Have
You
your
just can't participate as the observer.
like kids like drugs, like they think it's all like games, like whatever. Like,
It's like, yo,
I can get away with it, it's fine. Like, and then they start to like realize it's not like okay.
and then when they start to realize that it's already too late. And they're
Yeah, it's already too late. Like you can't go. Like that's why I like.
That was one of the first things that they're like
It's already too late. Like
more back on that side for sure.
yeah, and it says wait. In chapter 7, it says like how they like lost their innocence and like how they were like. Yeah, they
Even though they were 15, they weren't kids.
Essence just said she was confused, and you guys are all kind of working your way, but she never was able to expand on
What are
it.
you confused about? Older than.
Well, they should be.
Mine mature at the time because at first
Age?
state of mind, you know, people dying of it.
Yeah.
That's what I'll be. I'll be.
What's the age of
Yeah, they had. They didn't know.
That'd be the two sides of the
They weren't expecting. Yeah, they weren't. Like,
Yeah,
they wouldn't have to.
They were just like, I think they were just trying to block it all out because it was all like happening so fast. They couldn't do anything. Yeah, they were just like, they were like casually like, oh, okay.
So maybe why don't you start with rereading a piece that was confusing, and then the rest of us can kind of determine how we can support you.
Oh, oh yeah. We'll be back.
Also, in the first chapter, it talks about
His story.
the one kid, his dad, his mom like said he didn't have to like do anything, like he could go and I
Be a
forget.
drum
Oh,
boy.
it said yeah, he'd be like a drummer or something like that. And then it says unfortunately Elijah's father had other plans for Elijah.
Oh, with Summer and wanted
And he signed him up
to do coal.
to like burn charcoal and
And
he
then,
gets dirty and bracket.
And then he told, yeah, and then he told
And
his
then
sister. that he was gonna leave to go to town for a little bit and he didn't come back for 2 years.
He told them, what did he say?
He said he's gonna go into town.
Well, he said, Perry, back for dinner, we'll
And
need
those questions about their age might be able to work their way past.
we'll be ready, but I didn't get back home for 2 years.
And then anyway, how could
He said, yeah, like, you're like your brother not coming back, like.
I just want to play games.
Yeah, I know.
All right, I put another text-dependent question up that you need if you would like to use it, rather than just vocab, because you're looking for perspectives, and I'm watching the time a little bit. So, if you choose to go back to chapter 1, you can discuss how did all these boys get into the war when there was a very explicit ban on having them join the war.
No, okay, no. Tell me why. Yes, they did. Yes. Did you?
They're like, how old are you? Oh, I'm 18.
They were all supposed to be 18 to get in the war, but even like there was
Yeah, because they're like, no technology.
Okay, well, how stupid can you be to let an 8-year-old do more? You're not 18.
they were 8, they were like teenagers our age.
Well, look at the one on the cover. Oh, he's probably covered one.
Yeah, but then also, like,
Marissa, I like that you went back to the text for that. That was excellent.
No, I'd say he's like 14, 15. Wait, which one? The one sitting up or sitting down?
And on page 7, you can tell that one of them is gonna be.
He's 9.
The guy sitting down looks 18.
It was
The
just
guy
kind of
standing
weird
up
that
looks like
they kind of just guessed. They were like, because there was.
No technology, no technology.
They didn't have ID.
So, when you go back and you're making inferences
I'm going.
by looking at pictures and making a judgment, do you have evidence of their age by looking at the photographs?
It says right it says 16-year-old boy, Edwin Francis.
So, when you're having a discussion,
There was a 16-year-old private. They
well, a private, you'd be part of a regiment, and you would have somebody that was telling you what to do and when to do it. So you're just an enlisted person, you're a private.
No, it didn't.
But what does the text evidence tell you about the fact that people are enlisting that aren't of age?
That they.
Where's the text evidence that says and lets you know that people...
You're making inferences.
You're not making inferences. You made an inference about the picture, but there's evidence in the text about who is joining and how they're getting in.
Oh yeah, it says, wait, on page 11 it says, when the recruitment officer asked his age, he mentioned in his room, I'm 16 years old, I said, the officer ordered me out of line, and my father, who was behind me, stepped up to the table. You can't be as straight as any man, my father explained, and you can shoot as straight as any man. Has his sign there, I am with the my father, he said, because the officer handed me the pen and board his sign. So that's all they needed.
Excellent job.
That's all they needed.
Just the dad to say things that. What if it's like for a parent to say they had a good shot and then they were a kid person?
Yeah, so I guess, right, like, I think they just needed a lot of it, and they just needed, and, yeah, I think a lot of it, they needed a lot of people. They were just taking it,
Yeah, they're kind of like
and the government only told them they could have people of 18, so they were trying to, like, go to that, but at the same time, if anyone, like, had the chance of getting in, they would get them in anyway.
Because they were desperate.
Or American Heritage
it was.
I think they
Didn't have
like,
that.
be a man. I think that's one of like,
Raise your hand if you haven't shared.
Yeah, all the new,
not everybody has shared.
I know you haven't. I know you haven't. All your friends. Matt, what do you have to say?
not even everyone. That's what I mean, like they were
We'll start with Matt.
that,
Matt, go.
right, if it's
For
not about the numbers,
one
it's how much.
question, like, how much they wanted. I think they'll do anything to get away from like working in home chores. They don't really get any
Jacob,
run up to
beautiful
games.
Yeah, they
They
did.
only had to win. Where they go.
Grab numbers.
They only had soldiers.
Oh, I looked at it.
I think.
On the way.
Oh, I had that too.
We have 5 minutes left, so I'm going to ask everyone to focus on the last question for all of your groups and give you a few moments to have that discussion before we break apart today. On page 73, The Boys' War. What does the author mean when he writes, living every day with so much death and mutilation took a profound emotional toll on these boys? In your groups, I want you to look for your textual evidence that shows you how hard this change was from becoming a soldier to chapter 7 and change. And you're going to get about a minute and a half. Go.
Yeah, like you're not gonna feel like the pain now.
Chelsea, what do you have to say?
Yeah, it's like you don't even know that before. It could have been your brother too. Like just like it's normal for us to come to school.
No, but I'm saying it could have been.
Like it could have been your brother. Like that, like dying, like people dying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It takes an emotional toll on them.
Why do you kind of just leave it then? You don't have to see it. Right. Like at first, like when you like when I was growing up, I was like the one time the raffle died.
Yeah, Jake.
Like how could that possibly happen? And by the end of the
What's your stuff for 68? What do you have to say?
This is actually,
But even if it wasn't a family, it's still emotional just to see someone die.
Like you said, like, yeah, I don't, these kids probably haven't seen someone, like, standing by their side, and all of a sudden they're on the ground bloody and dead.
Well, as
It
Kenny
could have
said,
been their family member.
they got,
What I found was,
made them physically ill, not just like emotionally.
they started
Because I think all like their bodies and stuff, like
Yeah,
they
75.
made up.
they started hearing
Says-
such stories and stuff like that.
I saw
They
the
kind of
like,
like
the rising man,
I
and
mean,
it was
that's
very
horrible,
different,
but I
and the
think
whole
Yeah,
site
some of
was
them, they
such,
all know.
I don't think they were the same person.
such a sight.
When they got away from the war, they weren't just
I
like a
cannot
boy
describe the
like looking
change,
for an
nor
adventure. They
I
were
do not
more
know
like
what to expect, yet I
like
know
a
that
soldier.
there
They
is
weren't
a
saying
change.
Like my dad, like he was in the
I
army
think it was
back
like,
in.
I don't know, it was like normal for them to see like the bodies and stuff, so
One
they
night, like I was just
were having like,
And I think
So,
they got that.
they're just like used to it now.
Because like you can't like
Nice job,
witness
Tim.
it, like when you're doing it. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
we're all done. So a lot of the time starts like really
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I love the violence.
We are quickly running out of time. The few observations that your group members have, will you please finish filling out your sheet and we'll discuss those tomorrow when we regroup. I want to reflect on two things today. You are becoming so much stronger about vocalizing your textual evidence and using that in your conversation. The one thing I would like for us to work on going forward is making sure all voices are heard. We have naturally comfortable people that like talking and are willing to share, but we have just as many equally brilliant students that are quieter and need to be prompted to share their voice. So when we work on this going forward, let's make sure we're equitable and letting every voice be heard. All right? Can you do me a favor and move the tables back to their regular location. Make sure the books are stacked. Yeah, you can take your Post-its out. And then you've got a pack to get ready to go.
That would have been